Well, thank you, people, for taking the time to also listen to my story. Before I start my story, I want to have a crucial part of my story, which is my mother. This is she, Ingeborg. 36 years ago, she was pregnant with me. I was born, but it was a bit tricky for her because she was 47 by that time. And before she was pregnant with me, she lost two childs before she was pregnant with me. So she was very worried about what would happen, and also her age wasn't very helping. My dad and my mom were very Christian, so they were always in the car. They had a small cassette player, and they were listening to this German priest. And what they did is they actually called the German priest saying, "Oh, I'm 47, I'm pregnant, this is the history, could you please offer some help?" So the German priest said, "Well, yeah, I will do that. I'll call back a few days later." So a few days later he called back, he said, "I spoke to God. He said, it will be all right, it will be a boy, his name will be Marcus, and he will do very special things." Amazingly, that gave my mother some comfort, and I was a boy. She named me Marcus, and from the very first beginning, she always told me that I was about to do very special things. The reason why I tell you this is that I really think that this fundamentally imprinted this in my brain. I'm not that different than any one of you, but it became part of my culture. And every step I took along the way in my career or in my personal life, I was at crossroads, or I found myself in a surrounding where I was doing the same thing everyone else around me was doing. And that made me nervous because I had this prophecy over me from my mother telling me to do very special things. So that also made me decide to study here at Erasmus and also in England, and I studied marketing and international business and management. I worked at a big marketing firm in New York, and I got a huge job offer at Procter & Gamble in Dubai. And I was in the States, and I wanted to go back home to my lovely mother and my father and my friends to see them before heading out to Dubai. I went to my barber shop, and I was next to a project developer, and then it suddenly hit me. Why would I go there in a big room with a lot of other marketeers doing exactly the same thing, while I could use this marketing color into a market, into an industry where, to me, that wasn't really applied there. So I walked out with my cape, and I quit my job. I never went to Dubai, but I went into real estate the next day. That happened quite a number of times, where I went afterwards from a project developer to project investor. And in 2008, I was in a nice room with nice, good colleagues. I was pretty good at what I did. But then it suddenly hit me again. I need to do something special. So I really couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I actually had an idea that real estate wasn't my thing. So I handed in my resignation. I knew that I had a mortgage, so I needed to find something. But I just started the next day from my own living room. That was on 8/8/2008. So I started advising people how to refurbish their buildings and create some sort of communities and concepts within real estate, which was good business because it was just crisis, not the best moment to start your startup in real estate. But after a few months, I got some assignments, and then I thought, hey, I need my own office space. I can't work from my living room or go to dodgy bars to meet people. So I got on my bike, which is what you do when you're Dutch, cycled through Rotterdam, and I saw this big vacant office building next to Central Station, and I knew the owner. And I knew that he bought it to redevelop it and build big high-rises. But since the time was not very ideal for that, I went to him and I said, I need 20 square meters. And you can leave the rest just like it is. And he said, no way, I'm going to fire up the heating system just for you. You will pay a lot less than that actually costs. So half an hour later, I walked out and renting 5,500 square meters. And I was like, oh shit, what did I do? So I went to a bar, which is what you do when you get when you have big things to think about. And I encountered another startup, and I thought, hey, why don't I gather a lot of cool people around me, and we can build the building and choose our own colors and our friends that occupy this building with us. And he loved it. So, and I thought, hey, I can do this. That is what I did the last few years. So that sort of got out of hand. And 5 years later, I transformed 9 buildings in 3 cities, 40,000 square meters with over 600 clients, which was awesome, but also not a good investment for me as a company to build this further. Because what I noticed is we had a number of blossoming and growing communities in buildings that were destined to be redeveloped. So there would be a stop to that. And I noticed that to create real proper value, I would like to have one solid building with an international network. And that was in November 2013, where I read in the newspaper, the national newspaper, that CIC, Cambridge Innovation Center, that houses the most startups in the world, amongst which Android and Google and Facebook and Amazon, was looking to come to the Netherlands. And amongst other cities and countries that they were looking at, I picked up the phone. That was on a Friday afternoon. I picked up the phone, called around some city officials, and I found out that the founder, Tim Rowe, was still in the Netherlands, and he was about to fly to Boston the next day. So I hopped on the train. I really dropped everything, and I thought, this is what I need to do. This is this moment. So I got on the train, went to his hotel. I knocked on his hotel room door, and I said, come on, man, you don't know me, but we need to work together, and I'm your man for this. So after a month, I was the managing director of CIC, the Netherlands, and I promised him that Codem, that was my previous company, I built down from 9 to 0 buildings in 12 months. That was not something I did myself. I had an interim director which was one of my good advisors there, and he did it in 11 months and 30 days. And I encountered this world which was for me quite small in the Netherlands, and I was pretty proactive building these 9 buildings. But I was in Cambridge, Boston, where they originated across the street from MIT. And I saw them really spreading out and creating this beacon effect with a lot of this concentration of high energy and high-powered people. And I found with that partner someone who's equal in that we feed from the energy that these fast-growing, very exceptional entrepreneurs have. So what we actually do now is we develop an ecosystem, which is a huge task, and it's amazing with also with Erasmus here to support these exceptional entrepreneurs, to make them really grow faster and better by developing a very strong, tightly knit ecosystem where we supply an infrastructure and a lot of cool programming, but by that, connecting the US and Europe within a facility, an infrastructure. And that was also an important part for me, that a building and a piece of real estate you can touch, you can walk around. It's not just a concept of how I was educated as a marketeer with nice colors and concepts. But this is something tangible. It's something that we notice when we're here in the room together. And introduce a strong identity for a target audience, and clustering this startup delta of these amazing entrepreneurs that we have here in the Netherlands, but they are spread out all over the Netherlands. You have Ede Wageningen with with their bioscience, Eindhoven with their hardware, Amsterdam apps and marketing, and Utrecht with gaming. But to create a beacon to this, and to collect like-minded people together to feed from each other's energy, and that's in fact also the main reason why I do this. I can create with this, with the right partners, a facility where you can combine all these people and to feed off from their energy to create something which supersedes us all. So for that we share and we bring it further to spread the news and to make actually these people grow faster and better. So we collect, we grow, and we look awesome, and we start already, and then next year we'll open, this has been an awesome experience and an awesome trajectory to start off as a one person and with a dream, and to have an interconnectivity with entrepreneurs that you feed from. That's it. Thank you.